Hey, someone told me the other day, um, is life worth living? And 6-year-old me would have probably responded with, yeah, of course. We're all gonna die anyway, right? And quite frankly, if I'll be honest with you, um, that logic still applies, and I cannot find a counter argument to that because it's so true at the same time. Because there are multiple, multiple instances where I'm either at school or I'm trying to be something or I'm trying to be somebody that I'm not. And there are people that approach me, then people that would ask me questions, and then at some point I just became so self-conscious about everything. But I know there aren't people making videos talking to themselves for the most part. Not everybody at my school. There are a few things that I've learned I want to share, but also some things that I want to talk about, things that I don't necessarily have the answer to because I really need help when it came to that. And in my quest that I could maybe, I always thought that if I just spoke my feelings out, I could sort of jinx my situation. If I said, well, my classes are going badly, I have a D or something, and then I say it out loud, and then I come back to class, everything is easy, and then I get an A. That's always been my mindset, and that's such a poisonous way of thinking, because you don't really achieve anything from that. You just say something and then go to sleep, get 4 or 5 hours of sleep. It's Sunday. Should I say night? It's 2:31. um. Well, the first thing is friendship breakups. There was a death in the family. I mean, you gotta go do that. My dad became super persistent in church. Same with my mother. My sisters became really involved too. And I'm sort of just here praying to God that something good happens in my life. I became more religious, but not more believing. And that's the difference. I've believed the same I believe when last year, and then I'm getting pushed to go to these encounters in November, and I'm like, should I? Should I not? Is it a bad idea? I mean, there's so much I haven't done. That's like the main reason. And also, um, there's just nothing for me to lose. I think people try and drill in that the fact that suicide is an epidemic and most of it happens on impulse. That's probably true. You're intoxicated and you can never find a rational reason that it's ever reasonable, or it's more not reasonable to not do it, or to do it. I'm so sorry. I guess there are moments in my life where I really thought about doing it, but I'm still here, right? And people talk about passive tendencies. There are people that have actually done it, and there's self-harm, of course. That's so personal to me and to everyone. I mean, this generation now, it's way more different than before, right? I was talking to my uncle Bryant 2 weeks back. He's pretty cool. He I've known him for a while. He just He has a handgun in his pocket, um, holster and everything loaded. Jokes about pulling it, golf courses. That's worrying. But I do remember the conversation we had about the 80s, and I distinctly recall him talking about how people were soft because they were gay. I mean, that's how he is, right? And then now he wants me to invest, and algebra is useless in the real world. Go into business, do well in school, focus. I mean, he sold his business for 60 million. I can't argue against that, but it's how the times have changed. It's how he views self-harm as weak and gay. It's the little things. I For a while I wanted to be somebody that I was not. I think I'm still trying to articulate that, because when I'm around my friends or I'm around people, they see a side of me that I'm not. And I was absent for a week last week, and my English teacher told me to catch up on reading these last couple of chapters of the first part of a book by comedian Trevor Noah. I forgot what chapter it was. I think it was called Chameleon. And I know this sounds really childish and really punny, but I remember reading that chapter, and he mentioned code switching. Like, that was supposed to resonate with me. Um, and that was a book from my English teacher from ninth grade. From It shouldn't be hitting as hard as it did when I read those couple of sentences. Um, yeah, I don't think when I'm around people I switch my personality sometimes super entirely. Like, one time I'm nerding out about Rick and Morty or Five Nights at Freddy's, and then the other we're talking about something so can't even discuss it. That's the difference. And it makes me feel horrible. I call myself horrible things all the time. And that's easier than facing the truth and trying to fix myself. That's the problem with me. I think the friendship breakup that I'm really having trouble getting over are the ones that where I was so close with them. I think they were all because, like, from girls too. And though I didn't have a romantic tenure to them whatsoever, I still felt so bad when I realized that we were drifting so far that we were never gonna reconnect. And now I'm just holding on to the fact that it did happen. And the Dr. Seuss quote, "Don't cry because it happens, or don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened." That. I tell myself to people that are going through something, not deaths, but maybe times that are hard, maybe grievances, maybe just general life advice or breakups. I was always conditioned to believe that um, if you believe in something, then you can achieve it. I told my mom 2 years ago I want to go to Harvard, and she still believes that I can. It's too hard, but I'm too late. There are things I want to do and things I want to achieve. Did I do it all? Did I do everything that I wanted to do? I don't think there's a clear and cut answer for that. Because I look at myself and I think to myself, well, why? Why them and not me? And it's so weird getting inspired by the most random things. There's Markiplier, there was Gloom, there's Cloudy Apples, aka Gloom. Corey Kenshin made some good videos. Jacksepticeye made really good points. But it was when I was randomly going on Wired's autocomplete interview playlist that I decided to just watch 3 of them, the 3 most recent ones, because that would be interesting. One random Thursday night, I just had finished my homework. And the second one was Madison Beers. And damn, one of the questions were, I forgot how it was worded, but to paraphrase, it was like it was literally how to be like Madison Beer. And she literally said to that question, why would you want to be like me? People share what they only want you to see, but they're going through so much more. That's true, right? And I mean, in high school, it's easier to see that because you get to see how people act, and then how that behavior can sort of alter every single day too. If someone's not giving the usual vibe that they're giving, and you can tell something's off, then you know something happened. That's easier to tell. But for the most part, when it comes to friendship breakups, which I'll come back to later, or I'm coming back to now, it's getting late. But I think when I tried to text one of them, one of those genuine sparks that I had way back when. Yesterday night, I watched The Perks of Being a Wallflower. It's this guy about, it's this movie about this guy named Charlie, and he makes a few new friends, and he's trying his best to navigate through high school with all of the hardships that he's facing, including confronting his traumatic past. I think that movie resonated with me so deeply because 8 months ago, that same friend that I was telling you about, they sent me a video that before I even watched this movie for the first time, it had the closing letter that Charlie was reading aloud when the movie ended. And it was just in the video. I mean, yeah, obviously she was going through something too. That's why she sent it to me. I wasn't texting. I was in Tahoe, but maybe for a little bit for attention too, because damn, I couldn't. No one cared. That's what I thought, and I really didn't want. That was one of the toughest moments in my life because I was still going through another friendship breakup, and now I'm going through 2 and maybe 1 because I'm trying to reconnect. But this one, I text her expecting some sort of, I mean, when I did get the reply, and yeah, I was expecting with like a paragraph. I got 4 messages that capped at 5 words. And mind you, we used to text each other every day. And we used to call every day too. There's another friend that I would expected to get invited to one of their parties that they host every Halloween. I didn't get invited to that either. I did see the pictures they posted. I mean, how could you? I mean, am I then at the same time, am I just stuck up on two random things? Am I not as characterized, and am I just useless to them? Was I not who I thought I was to any of them? And there are more. Those were the two that I valued the most. And I will be better. I promise. And there are tough times, and there's only so many times you can talk about something before it just, you get tired of talking about it, but it's always going to be lurking in the back of your mind. Just go, Mateo, just go, right? Be better than you were ever. I finished BoJack Horseman. Virat pushed me to finish it. Uh, that was that was the best animated TV show I've ever seen in my life, and I would recommend anybody that's going through anything to watch it, because yes, it breaks you. But at the end, spoiler alert, um, let's just keep it vague. And if you do plan on watching it, I would just click off this video right now. But I'm gonna keep it vague anyway. It's two friends that went through everything together, and in the end, they have nothing more to say. Just like a regular conversation between two people that barely know each other, but they know everything about each other, and that's the difference. And it's insane to me that that's not how it's going to end up with anyway. I mean, you're going to go through so much, and you can be such a horrible, bad person. There was no redemption for myself. I mean, not in their eyes. I mean, that's all I'm gonna be known for. There's nothing more than that I would want than to just feel good about myself. I want to feel good about myself. And the difference between yourself when you feel this way and a serial killer that feels this way is that their actions and their beliefs, in some ways, unfortunately enough, they intertwine with ours. Because I heard this quote, my cousin sent it to me. It was these two photos of a dog killing a sheep, and these two dogs, and I said a dog, I'm so sorry. These two dogs, one felt bad and the other didn't. Your guilt does not cleanse you. There's still blood on your hands. It's your actions that redeem you. You can feel bad about something, yet you will not be forgiven until you don't do it again. Or you stay away from that, or you just don't do that thing that you feel so guilty about. Now, some people choose a sin, and then they commit that because they think that sin is, it's not that bad. It's tolerable. Like jaywalking is more tolerable than pirating something illegally, or more morally straightforward. Um, Rape is worse than murder. You know, either way you think of these things, it's still bad. It really is. And you can't really change how people view your own opinion. Because when you look at somebody at just face value, you can never really get their full story at all until you actually converse with them. Now, um, I really want to take a break from this, just go back to the whole friendship thing. I really thought of myself as a burden at some point after. And maybe I thought of myself during, but especially after. Because how could you go through everything and then feel so horrible about your own personality that someone else would call you weird for it? Now you're just paranoid. And there are many nights where I just stayed up because of this. Maybe those are one of those nights. But I'm going to keep on going because I want to achieve, um, I want to achieve something in the realm of possibility because everyone thinks of me the same way, right? Um, and I'm slowly turning into that amalgamate, that amalgamation of thoughts and words that I've spit out myself. And I mean, they say that um, overthinking in and of itself is I want to say it's a waste of time, but it's not, because you think of all of the wrong, or sorry, all of the things that could go wrong, and that's a good thing, because if it doesn't go wrong, then you're relieved. Sure, it's a waste of time, but you thought of it. You thought of the worst possible thing that could have happened, and it didn't. And if it did, you prepared for it. And if you didn't prepare for it, well, you saw it coming. You thought of all of the scenarios that could have happened. I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it's a good thing. And I offer some. I don't want to. I don't want to seem obnoxious, but sometimes I give really good advice to people. And now look, I mean, there's at school it's kind of different too than at home. It's a life, different lives. Now, is this life worth living? I think it is. I think you should keep on living it, because as long as you have a drive, you have a determination. Since when I said before, all suicides are impulses, are on impulse for the most part. Intoxicated, it's never rational. I promise you, it's never rational, because there's so much ahead of you. I promise you, there's so much ahead of you. It's always a decision. Life and death has always been a decision. Would you want to cut your time short, or would you just let it pass? I promise it'll happen. Reach out to somebody. Or if you think of doing it, if you're going to do it, go outside before you do it. Maybe go to a cafe. Maybe just take a walk or get some ice cream. Watch a movie. You'll realize that you stayed alive because the small things matter. I'll see y'all tomorrow.